What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a good start to the weekend. It is February 8th, and we have a good little slate of games here tonight. Got the Vegas odds pulled up, just kind of looking through these. A lot of, not blowouts per se, but only a few of the games are slated to be close. So we'll get into this. But before we do, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead, definitely hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get alerts on whenever I drop new content. And if you like the picks, hit that thumbs up button. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the DFS Picks. And I always do some updates during the day. We've had a lot of injury news, trades, all that kind of stuff lately. So I always try and do as many updates as possible because throughout the day everything is constantly changing as far as optimal lineups and roster constructions and things like that. So I do my best to keep up with that. Let's go back to yesterday real quick. Yesterday was just a dumpster fire of changes throughout the day. I made a couple of bad changes late with a late exit of the injury news of Kawhi out, and so that was not good. I hate late stuff like that, trying to make changes super last minute. I mean, the Kawhi news didn't drop until I think like 6:30, and then just kind of hectic trying to get that up for the 7 o'clock tip. But it shouldn't be that way tonight. Not a whole lot of injury news, just a couple pieces that we're waiting on. We should know with plenty of time before lock. So we'll get that streak back up and running tonight for sure. So looking at the slate tonight, biggest blowout game, Golden State and Phoenix. They played, I think, 3 times already, either 2 or 3 times already, and each game, I think it's 3 times already, and each game was a blowout. I think 20 plus points out. So it's hard to make a decision based on that in that game as far as who's gonna get the most run. Last game, I can't remember who Golden State played last time. I think it was San Antonio. They had their starters running. They were up by 25, 28 points in the third quarter, and they still had their full starting lineup there. So that game, Durant hit, I think, 6x, but it's hard to figure out who's going to get that run late for if they're going to pull their starters, when they're going to pull their starters. I really like Cousins in that game, but it's hard to know if he's going to get his full 25 minutes of run. Last game, it was only 17, and he played really well in those 17 minutes, but I would love to have him go up against Phoenix and get those 25 minutes. I think that if he does, that he'll get a good value out of them, but it's so hard to tell. Going on to the other games, I like the Minnesota-New Orleans game, the Miami-Sacramento game, and the Denver-Philly game. So to an extent, that Chicago-Brooklyn game, I like a couple pieces out of that, but the other 3 games, particularly the late 2, are what I'm looking at for this slate. So we'll switch over to the pieces that I like. If you're a box score watcher looking at the past matchups, if you look at the top end and the game that Jokic had 76.5 points his last matchup against Philly. I think a lot of people will start running to that. I'm not sure that I want to. I love the way he's been playing. I had him the last game against Brooklyn, and he put up 33 points in the last 32.5 points in the fourth quarter, and just crushed value that night. But his last game against the 76ers, there was no Embiid. He was playing against, I can't remember if it was Muscala or Bolden who started that game, but he was playing, there's no Embiid in that game, so of course he's going to crush that. So I'm not super optimistic. It makes me like it less. I still like him in that position. He's played well recently, but I'm not going there 100%. If there's anyone that I'm paying up for, it's going to be Luka Doncic. He's had just a sick usage rate since getting Dennis Smith Jr. got out of town. And he's playing really well. I think he's had triple-doubles in the last 2 games. No, he didn't hit the triple-double in the second game, but he had a triple-double last game. Double-double the game before. But, 2 triple-doubles in the last 4 games, and he's getting a ton of usage, playing really well. He plays better at home, so he's at home against Milwaukee. No Giannis. No, sorry, not there's no Middleton in that game, so it's slated to be close enough to keep him in and get his run. So I really like him in that spot at 9,500. I mean, his price is gonna rise in the 10s soon, and I think that's where he's appropriate. So he's a little cheap, even though he got priced up. He's still a little cheap for where he should be given his usage. So like him there. Next guy that we're gonna go to is Isaiah Cannon. So I'm assuming I had Bayless last night, and he was just a trash garbage play. He did get hurt, but he still got a ton of minutes, and he didn't do anything with them. But he is injured. He was left the game last night. He's questionable for tonight. Even if he doesn't go, even if he does go, Cannon is still in play. If he doesn't go, Cannon is just a lock in my lineups. He had 21 minutes last night, 22.5 points against New Orleans defense. He's going to play against Frank Jackson, who's not a good defender. He's one of the worst on the individual stats for point guards. So I like Cannon in this matchup one way or the other, but a lot more obviously if Bayless is out. And especially at 3,000, it gets you the ability to pay up for someone else. There should be a decent amount of value here. So if you want to pay up for Doncic and another stud or a higher end mid-tier player, it should be definitely in play. So we'll move on from that to Wiggins. So Wiggins just went off again last night, 47.75 points. When they're short on point guards, he's going to take a lot of the load for handling the ball. And so if Bayless is out, I like Cannon and I like Wiggins. So this is kind of under the assumption that Bayless is out. Wiggins is going to get a lot of the run of the point guard position as well. And he's going to be handling the ball, and he's going to be in a good matchup against, like I said, a New Orleans defense that A, plays fast, and B, not good against guards. So I like him in there, especially at 6,000. He's not getting priced up. So I like that. Got one more. So a couple different spots that you can go to on here. But where I would like to go is another guard. It's going to be Eric Bledsoe. So 6,700. Similar price as what he's been the last few games, and he's just been playing really well. So cash value at this salary in the last 4 games. No Middleton. It's going to bump up his usage. I think it's like 4.7%, something like that, something right around 5%. It's going to bump up his usage, and he's going to be playing against the Dallas defense that, let's see, is bottom 3rd in the league in guarding point guards. So I like a lot of pieces in that game, and then that matchup and everything like that. So I like his play at 6,700. And so with those 4 guys, you have 6,200 per spot left on the board, and that should give you, especially with the value that's here with Tyler Johnson, or if you want to go to Jeff Green again. Jeff Green, I'm looking at him pretty hard. He should be getting a ton of minutes. It's going to depend, obviously, on if Portis is playing, what kind of big guys are playing in that for the Wizards. But he should get a ton of minutes. But there are a lot of other value pieces that are on the board, and so we're going to have to wait, A, to see some injury news, and B, to see who the traded guys are playing tonight, to see what kind of value we have coming up on the slate. But that's what I got for you. Like I said before, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the DFS Picks. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And the free content I'm trying to get out every day as much as I can. Premium content if you want lineups, write-ups. I'm going to try and get more into showdown slates as well. But it's $10 a week or $30 a month. And it's been a really good last month and a half of run. So if you want to hop board, join the squad, message me either on Twitter or Instagram, or shoot a comment down in the comment sections below. If you have any questions, I'm always up to answer. Just hit them in the comment section below as well. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and start to your weekend. Good luck tonight.